Can you talk to us about some of the barriers students may experience that you're addressing with a particular design feature, and what you hope the impact will be for your students?
One challenge I think most educators would have is helping students understand the expectations in an assessment. And one of the ways we do that in Write 1001 is by creating rubrics that we grade assignments with and that are available to students ahead of time. Last year we had the rubrics online, and we occasionally referred to them in tutorials and individual activities throughout the unit leading up to an assignment due date. There was one activity, and we did this quite accidentally. We put the rubric into the activity and asked students to describe in their own words what the rubric was asking them to achieve. And they looked at a sample assignment in the same activity. In looking at data after the unit of study completed, we could see that students who had completed that rubric activity online then did much better than students who didn't complete it in the follow-up assignment. It seems common sense, but that data led me to think we should be doing this with all of our rubrics in the unit, making time for those conversations. So a 2022 goal for me is thinking about how we can embed discussions of rubrics and assignment expectations into activities throughout the unit, and using a UDL framework, how students can have several opportunities to talk about those rubrics and to understand them in different ways in the lead up to assignments. And I think we'll see that data replicated in 2022, that students who continually complete those activities will do better in their assignments than those who don't.
How will you measure the impact of that? What do you hope to see will change, and how will you know if it's changed?
We get some anecdotal feedback from markers who will tell us whether assignments are at a higher standard than previous semesters. So we've been lucky to have the same teachers and tutors and markers in the unit for a few years in a row, and that means their feedback, even though it's anecdotal, is quite important. So that's one way we can monitor the success of that. Another thing is looking at completion rates for different cohorts within the unit. So just looking at if a student completes an activity, what's their average mark in the follow-up assignment, and comparing that to students who don't complete the activity. And that gives you a good sense of how engagement can lead to improved assessment outcomes for students.
And we took some baseline data with the 2021 cohort, so it will be interesting to see if that gives us a comparison.
Yeah, we have the university-wide surveys for units of study, but we've also designed a UDL-specific survey for students to take, just 10 questions that give us an insight into whether students feel motivated, engaged, welcome in a unit of study. And we can repeat that semester to semester to see if that baseline shifts in terms of student engagement.